Welcome to Heartland Arms. I'm Michael, and today we're going to be all about sights. Kind of give you an idea of what it is, and there's a ton of options here. Literally a ton of options. So what exactly is optics? It's basically how you acquire a target with a firearm. So whether you're protecting yourself, hunting, just out plinking around, target practice, something like that, you're going to use some type of sights or optics to do that job. So, when you're going through it, and with me, I have a lot of different optics are not one size that fits all. Don't think, oh, I'm going to go buy this and this is what I'll use for everything. Optics and sights don't work that way. There's a lot of stuff that goes through it. And it's constantly a battle between what people like and what people think are the best. If you've tuned in the show to ask me what's the best, not gonna happen. Because I don't know your situation. I can't say use this because I don't know if you're going after a deer at 500 yards or you're, defending your home. So, and of course we're going to be going over home defense in one of the episodes here too. So keep tuned and, keep looking for that one if you're interested in that as well. And generally, if you like to, subscribe to the show, we would appreciate it. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble. We're on a bunch of podcast players, Facebook, Instagram, X. We're all over the place. It's hard to get a channel like this going. So any support and any love that you could send over my way, I would appreciate it. But let's go into optics here. So let's go to the overhead first. These are some of the things that you're going to see for optics. So this is a standard scope. This is a little red dot that I have. Okay. So I don't have a holographic sight. I'm not fond of those, so I don't have one of those. But you have iron sights, which are, you see that? There you go. Right there. And this not all iron sights are made the same either. This has a little bit of a glow to it, and you can see it. And for iron sights, you just put that front dot right in between, and that's how you acquire on an iron sight. Now, if you notice, I'll shake it a little bit. When you're holding a firearm up and your adrenaline's pumping, this is what you're going to be doing. Because that adrenaline gets going, and let's go to the front. That adrenaline, that doesn't mean you're scared. When that adrenaline starts dumping, it gives you the shakes. More practice, a lot more practice, will allow you to get on your target faster. And the more you practice, the more you can get going on there. So now you can see on the front camera, it's almost a U on this sight. So now let's go back to the top. This is just my little training piece. This isn't a real firearm either. I can't even rack this. So it's a BB gun. You can see, yeah, it has, yeah, there. That's not holding anything. So, and this is just a training piece. Sometimes, and I'll hold that there. Do you see how blocky it is? That'll be a little bit of a V shape, but you can see how hard iron sights are there to acquire. Those could be, that requires practice. So we'll go, iron sights are great. They come with most firearms. they're on there. They're great for backup too. Red dot. So this is a red dot, and I think this one also does green dot as well. I have this on a rail because this goes on one of my plinkers. This is great for short range, getting a target going, things of that nature. It does get you on target a little quicker than iron sights. These can run anywhere from, I've seen them as low as $50. Now keep in mind, anytime you're getting the cheap stuff, remember, you do get what you pay for. I'm not saying you have to go spend $600 on this, but understand what you're going to be using, why are you going to use it, and is it going to be reliable when you need it. Okay, now this is a Bushnell. I like Bushnell. I'm not sponsored by them. This is just what this one happens to be. These are pretty nice. Holographic sights are a lot smaller than this, and it normally just has like a little glass on it. I just don't like those. That's my personal preference, so I don't actually have one. You could Google them. They're pretty nice. A lot of people like to put those on pistols, which helps require those. And then there's also something that you could also do on these too. You can get a magnifier that goes on the back of it. So when you are, and I believe it goes like that. So when you're on the back of it here, it will make it a bigger picture so you can see and maybe shoot a little further. That's what I would recommend. You can get magnifiers for this. However, if you're going long distance, you want a scope. Okay, let's go to the overhead. This is a scope. Now, mind you, I'm going to have people go, that's not a scope, and then send me a picture of their scope that has this huge head on it. That's a scope. There's there's a reason why this isn't on one of my firearms, because this is a 2x7 by 32. You're not going to be able to see it there. But go to the front here.
Let's go into the front.
So this is what it is. This is a relatively small scope, okay? This is really a cheap scope that I bought with a firearm that I took off right away to put a bigger scope on. Now, this is a Nikon, so it's not horrible, but I'll bring it back over to me here. Not horrible, however, what I was using didn't require such a small scope. Now, if it's a good entry-level scope, don't get me wrong. People use these, and they're great. If you're doing any kind of long-distance shooting, before you go out and start buying a scope and say, yeah, let me go buy a scope, and then I'm going to go ask the gun guy, I'm going to go to the gun store, and I'm going to say, hey, what's the best scope you have? Well, how much you want to spend? And based on how much you want to spend, if you want to spend a lot of money, they'll sell you a lot of scope. Do you need that? No. And I'm telling you right now, this right here in the world of firearms, this is probably, in the world of rifles, by the way, this is probably your most expensive thing. Telling you that right now. I know guys that have a $200 rifle and a $5,000 scope. That's just, I hate to say it, but the scope's worth more than the gun itself. And if you're laughing at that, you're either laughing because you're trying to fight back the tears because it's true, or you're not into the guns like some people are. That's okay. You know, I hear it all the time. Why would you spend $500 on a scope for a $300 gun? Well, this matters a lot. That's why. So keep that in mind when you're going through with all of these. You always want to practice, okay? Practicing is really, really important. Understand that you could test some of these out. A lot of local gun shops or shooting ranges, and if they're kind of both, sometimes they'll have a couple that are scoped out so you could try it out. Make sure don't go into the store and say, hey, I need a scope, and think they're just going to get you exactly what you need. If you don't tell them what you're using it for or what you're needing it for, it's hard to get helped. Now, this one does have the mounts that go on top. Some of them have screws that go on. There's different types of mounts that you can get. So you got to understand that when you are dealing with scopes, you have to go with the mounting for that as well. And sometimes you're going to need to have a gunsmith, a licensed gunsmith, drill out scope holes on your firearm. So keep that in mind when you're buying a firearm. That's pretty important too. If you buy it with pre-drilled and it comes that way and it comes with a scope, that's great, but make sure you're getting stuff that will match that. If you get one that's smooth because you want to do an all custom piece, that happens as well. I would recommend doing stuff like that as well. Also, another thing that I want to cover here, because it's one of my biggest pet peeves. So, and I will say this, recently my father-in-law passed away. He was not a gun guy, and that's okay. But as we're going through a lot of stuff, I'm finding old remotes and remotes that haven't been used for years. Old little, they kept the kids' games, those little electronic games that, kids played, on the car rides before cell phones were really a thing. And I'm opening those compartments up and I see a lot of corrosion because of the batteries, okay? So, I only bring that up because these red dot, optics, lasers, flashlights, all these accessories that you could add to your firearm will have batteries, okay? What I would recommend always, if you're going to be storing your firearm for a long period of time, so you hunt, you bring out that rifle every so often. Some powered scopes have batteries as well. Keep that in mind. But I'm going to break out my hunting rifle. I'm going to go hunting for a weekend or two, and then I'm going to put it back away. Do yourself a favor and take the batteries out. Take batteries out, store them off to the side. Because I could see good equipment getting ruined because people left batteries in there. And I would hate for someone to go spend $5,000 on a powered scope only to go hunting a couple times with it. It gets thrown into the safe. And you're like, yeah, I'll just keep the battery in there because I'm going to go hunting next year. And then life happens, okay? Life happens, and you know what? Your wife wants you to go on that vacation. And your argument that you're after a different kind of deer this time around isn't going to probably hold weight. Okay, so that gun gets put in there, and you have all intentions of, yep, I'm going to shoot, I'm going to go hunting, and then life happens, and then work happens, and then next thing you know, 5 years down the road, you're like, I can finally go hunting again, and that battery, kind of leaked all over things, and that $5,000 scope is now ruined. Don't let that happen to you. Don't let your wife do that to you. Don't want to see that happen to any good hunters out there. Because it does. It does. We have the best intentions sometimes. So don't let your wife do it. And to prevent that, make sure you like and subscribe to the show. More tips like that coming straight from you. Straight to you guys. Now, my wife doesn't hunt. So... but she still liked and subscribed to my show, so I'm good with that. We're on Facebook, Twitter, X now. We're on every social media platform. But they also like to, they downgrade it. The algorithm doesn't put our show out there. They don't like this kind of content, so it's really hard to get it out. Even if I don't have a real firearm in the show, they still don't like the topic, so they kind of suppress it. So I need you guys to go make sure you're liking, subscribing to the show. They also like to unsubscribe you by accident and hope you don't notice. So if you don't see my content and you were subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed because things happen, which is why you need the Second Amendment. So we'll see you next time. Enjoy.